everybody. We are on day 2 of our 12 days of Christmas in July, and this is our baked goods box. You can use it for many things. You can use it for gifts. You can use it for baking goodies and giving them to your neighbors, your friends, or take to a party for a hostess. Be a great idea. You can put anything that you want in here. It doesn't have to be baked goods. And if you're not going to do baked goods, then you can skip this piece that's in the file. And if you have your tools, I don't have mine yet, but if you have your perforation tool, you can change these lines to perforation, and I think they might be easier for you to fold. But they're going to fold back, and this is where your baked goods, your cupcakes or cookies or whatever it is that you have putting in the box, you're going to fold those back so that they will hold it. Now you can detach them completely, make them smaller, make them round, do whatever you want. If you're learning design space, it's a good thing to play around with. So you can duplicate it, hide one, and then you can come through and change that around. But you're just going to fold this insert, and it's going to be a little bit tedious because there are thin lines. I made it so that you could get a cupcake in there. Your maximum height of your baked good from the bottom of the box to the lid is 2.5 inches, so I wouldn't go more than 2.25 inches tall on my baked good, just so you know. And these will be easier to fold if you use a ruler or a squeegee or something like that on these thin lines for this. And it would probably be a little bit better if I used the craft board, Cricut craft board on this, just because I had it out. But it would probably do better with cardstock, say maybe 80 pound, because you just want it to hold the baked good in place. It doesn't have to be super sturdy, but I didn't want to go and get my white paper. So I could have probably used a little lesser weight for this. But if you want it to be sturdy, this will work. It's not a big deal. Most of this is going to be hidden anyway with the baked goods in there. It's kind of easier, just kind of roll those edges. But we're just going to fold all of those back. This is the hardest part right here, is because this thin bar right down here in the middle. It's not too bad though. With the double scoring wheel, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm just going to go ahead and fold this whole side like it's supposed to be, and then do the smaller one. Don't want to rip it. There we go. But just take your time and fold them gently. When you're taking this piece off of your mat, you need to flip your mat over and curl your mat and roll it away from the material rather than trying to pull the material off of the mat. Okay? Because if you don't, you're going to have a really tough time. That's pretty good. And we're just going to fold all the four corner tabs back. And I'm using art glitter glue. You can use your tapes, whatever. I prefer glues on this because I don't want to hand it to somebody and then it pop apart. And there's a lot of tapes and stuff that won't hold these stronger materials. So your score tape should work fine. But you're just going to keep that square. Make sure that your corners are square. You don't want those out at all. And then we're going to fold all four of those. glue also gives you a second to adjust without having to pull it apart like tape. Sometimes tape will tear. So then you have your little insert. Oh, I missed one, didn't I? Just be aware that when you if you make your own inserts, just be aware that you want these pieces not to be any deeper than your edge. So that's why we cut the little hole in the middle of these, as you can see, so that they would sit flat against the base of the box, which is also going to help keep this sturdy in the middle. So we could set that to the side to dry. And I'm going to set the lid pieces to the side. Now, let's cover the materials I used really quick before we go any further so that I don't forget to tell you guys. For the base of the box, I used the Cricut craft board in white. Now, you can use any colors you want, any cardstocks, but I'm going to suggest that your base be a good, heavy material for your base. Poster board, something sturdy. Then the true brushed paper. I used the silver for Santa's beard because I just wanted it to be fancy and pop instead of using a white, but you can use white, whatever you have for that. And then I also used it for the lid, the true brushed for the lid here. I used the Cricut shimmer paper. I used the black and the gold out of that for Santa's belt, just to give that some added sparkle onto the box and give it some different looks. And then I used the Cricut foil acetate. This is the Love Notes sampler pack. Now be careful when you cut these because there are like 3 different colors with the dots in there, and one is pink and one is red. Unless my eyes were playing tricks on me. But I believe one was red, one was pink. So it's very close, so just be careful with it. Now in the file, this piece is showing cut in the same as the lid. But because my lid, usually if I do the lid in a cardstock paper, which you can, it will be fine. It's the same color on the back. But because the true brushed is not, I went ahead and cut this out of the craft mat. You can cut it out of any white, anything. I just didn't want to cut it out of the same material and it just be wasted. So I did cut that out of a different paper than what the file is showing. So if you want to do that, you can as well. And then of course the insert was also cut from the craft board, I'm sorry. So you're going to need all of those things. You can use regular transparencies. If you don't have it, you can use anything clear for your box lid. So here's the base, and you're going to fold the 4 tabs back on their score lines. And I do not use a bone folder on these guys because I want them to stay rigid. I don't want them to be flat, because sometimes even with the double scoring wheel, when you go fold against the grain, it can cause the material to crack. So I just don't press it down with a bone folder. It will be fine. I'm just folding on all the score lines. Everything is just folded away from you. Okay. So you don't have to worry about mountains and valleys. They're all just folded away from you, and then you can flip it over. And then you want to put glue or tape on these 4 corners. Or tabs, whatever you want to call them. You want to keep these square. I'm just going to go ahead and sometimes it takes a few minutes for glue to grab on this craft board. So I'm just going to glue all 4 tabs and then work from there. And again, you want to make sure that it's square. And this is designed this way to give you just a little bit of extra lift on the lid. But this is really the total height of your baked good right here. It can't be any taller than this. And let me double check that measurement. I think I said 2.5, 2.25, something like that. I don't remember. So you can, the total height of the box is 2.25, but then you have this little lip here. It gives you another 1/8 of an inch to keep the lid up off of it. So you can go just right at 2.25 inches and you should be fine. Anything over that and your lid is going to sit down on your baked goods. So then you can place in your insert that holds your baked goods and keeps them from shifting around. And I would not glue this in because a lot of people may want to reuse their box. And I didn't fold that there. And you will, if you glue it in, then they can't take it out. Make sure you get a good crisp fold on those. There we go. But design, you can design your own for these. There we go. That was a little bit better if you don't get that fold in there. But they'll be able to take this out. And you can see that when these are pressed down, they come to the bottom of the box so that they're not in the way. They won't be hindered. So you can set that to the side. And then we're going to work on the lid. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my belt through that buckle. Just like that. You don't want to glue it or anything yet at this point. Okay. And don't forget, if you're using the Cricut adhesive foil, there is a plastic backing on this. And you want to peel that off so that you get all that nice, pretty clarity on that. Nice and super clear. I'm just going to place this over to the side so it doesn't get scratched. And we're going to do our lid the same way that we did our base. Just want to be careful. Those score lines. I love this True Brush paper. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me sing. There we go. And the True Brushed, it doesn't crack like some other materials will, especially when you're using the double scoring wheel. And that's why I like this for this project. It'll look really nice when you give it as a gift. Can't see my score line. I know where it's at. There we go. I'm just going to give that a good press. And I'm not going to rub this. It probably won't hurt with the bone folder. It did not crack. So I'm going to go around, because this is the lid, and give that a rub on all 4 sides. Just to get it good and crisp. I wouldn't do that with the craft mat because it can crack. And I'm just going to fold my 4 tabs back. And I don't know if my art glitter glue, I can't remember, I haven't used the brush in a while, if the art glitter glue will hold this. I think it does, because I'm going to the paper, so I think it will. If not, we can use the tape, score tape. I'm just going to hold that and let that dry for a minute. Yeah, it's going to work fine. You know, if you get glue on your hands, you don't want to get it on that brushed. It will show. That dries matte and clear, and it will show up on your brushed. So, kind of be careful there. I'm just getting that glue on. Keep those corners square. It's really important when you're making your boxes. Okay. I'm just going to keep pressing that because of the coating on this. You want to just keep going until your glue gets good and dry, and keep pressing and making sure that it's sticking. Okay, now time for the belt. So, and it just goes from edge to edge of the box, but I want, depending on where you want your buckle to show, and I think that's good. I may even tap that out just a little bit further. No, don't like that. Go this way with it. Yeah, I like that. So now I'm going to pick this up, and then I'm just going to give it a dot of glue back here and glue it down. Make sure it's straight. And I gave a little bit of play up here because it's going to be covered, so that you could move it and get it like you wanted it, but you want to make sure it's pushed up so that at the base it's not showing that gap. The rest of it's not going to show. This is the shimmer paper. I probably should have used tape on putting that down. So I'm just going to go, and on the paper backing part, get my glue on there. And then we'll glue that to this. That's not going to show. That's a good thing. Don't want to get glue all over that. There we go. And I'm just going to press it from the bottom just to get a good seal. Get the glue off of there. Good and straight. Okay, and I think I am going to use score tape here, just because I know the shimmer paper doesn't like glue, and that's what that is. So I'm just going to use, I really want to get that tip good. Several pieces of score tape. Don't want to get up into there. Let me trim that off. I hope you guys are enjoying the 12 Days of Christmas files. If anybody wants anything in particular, now is the time to start asking for those Christmas projects after the 12 Days of Christmas and your fall projects, so that we can get to work on those. I just want to get some pieces on here so that we get a good hold. I probably should have used red line tape, but I didn't want to go get it. But if you're doing yours, I would suggest red line tape instead of tearing tape. Tearing tape is probably going to be fine though. Don't come apart. I need that in there. I hate when the cores come out. And then of course we're going to pull all of those pieces of paper off. Just want to get those rubbed down so that they stick. And I did not include a tag in this file, guys, but if you want to do a tag, you can. I don't have my debossing tool. While I was cutting, I was like, oh wow, the little piece that came out of here, we could have just went ahead and attached the neighbor's name or the hostess name to that and had it deboss on the brushed aluminum, and then when we popped it out, we would have had a tag. Put a little hole in it, so you don't waste those pieces that come out of this box. You can use those to do several different things with. I knew I was going to do that. Stay down there. Here we go. Put a little glue on that paper so it holds that tape down. I always do at least one piece like that. Okay, so now we're going to line that up. Get it on there. Then I'm going to flip it over. Give it a good press. Let all that tape get stuck down. How cute is this, guys? So then we're ready for our foil, and I want the red dots to show through. You may want the silver, so just go ahead and make sure you dry fit it and it fits. And then you're going to run a bead of glue or your score tape, and I've done this many times, and the score tape holds okay. You don't want to put glue on that inside because it will show. You really don't need it, but just go around that edge. But you can use the score tapes. I found that they do come loose. And my art glitter glue has always held. The only time I've had my acetate fall out is when I used score tape. And it was score tape red line. It was not tearing tape. So you're going to place that in there, and then just because I like to give it a finishing look, if you don't want this piece you can skip it, but I feel like it gives it a little finished look. We're just going to run glue all the way around, and then we're going to pop that right in. I'm just going to use my bone folder and go around and press it down. Just give it that little bit of finishing touch and let it stick. And then I would wait till it's dry. I just don't want you guys to sit and watch glue dry. And then put your top on there. How cute is that, guys? Super, super cute. Baked goods box or a gift box. Like I said, if you want to put a shirt in there, something of that nature, you don't need the insert. Just hide it in the file. You won't need it. But that is the project for my, let's see, the monthly subscribers on Patreon and Ko-fi. So you guys will have this file. It is available on craftingwithapril.co and in the post on Ko-fi. If you are a one-time supporter, that's where you will find it. And y'all stay tuned for the public file. The secret message card is coming up for you guys, and it's available for everyone. You guys have a wonderful